Hello, everyone. This is Henny Espinosa with Just Wish Foundation. Today, we are joined by Lou Rita, the Executive Director of Hands On Bay Area. It's a volunteer driven organization that has done so much for the community. Thanks so much for joining us on Just Wish, Lou.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, tell us how Hands On Bay Area was founded and why was there a need to do so?
Absolutely. Um, Hands on Bay Area was founded by two predecessor organizations in the 80s and early 90s, and it was very much driven by the community for the community. There was a great need and desire on the part of young professionals who wanted to give back to their community,
Mhm.
but it was very hard for them to do so. There was no easy entree into volunteering.
Mhm.
And they discovered a lot of barriers to volunteering, and their goal was to overcome those barriers and make it
Mhm.
easy.
Can you identify some of those barriers at that time in terms of
Absolutely.
volunteerism? Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple of things. One, nonprofits often require a commitment in terms of time,
Mm,
right? Like you sign up to volunteer, and sometimes they want you to commit to 6 months in order to get the training and everything that's associated with it, which makes sense. But for people who were young professionals who didn't know actually how long they were even going to be in the area, right?
yeah.
That was a big barrier to them. The other
But had
barrier,
the desire to volunteer and help, just didn't
exactly,
have that long-term commitment part. But
exactly.
the heart to volunteer is still there. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that was the first barrier.
That
And
was the
then,
first barrier, and it's interesting, right? Because they often didn't know what cause area was most important to them, right? That's
mm,
something that you kind of discover when you volunteer, right?
mm,
Are you more passionate about education? Are you more passionate about helping people experience homelessness? Are you more passionate about the environment? You don't necessarily know. And having to make a commitment like that is challenging when you don't even know for yourself.
mhm, mhm.
Um, there's a lot of fear of an individual just showing up to
Yeah,
volunteer somewhere, right? And so having a chance to volunteer in a group
yeah.
makes that so much easier. So that
Mhm,
was the second thing,
mhm.
making sure that they had group-based activities so that no one had to be there alone.
Yeah.
Um, and part of that was having a project leader who had already scoped out everything, knew it was going to happen, could easily communicate all the needs, etc., to make it easy for the volunteers to participate.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
that was the third thing. And then another thing that came up was around family and being able to bring
mhm,
their children with them. And it's actually very hard for nonprofits to have young people volunteer. They're not
mhm.
really set up for it, right? Some of the bigger ones are for sure, but a lot of the little ones are not. And so having an organization that can manage those things and create
Mhm.
projects to make it accessible for people to volunteer was their goal.
Mhm. How important are volunteers in causes? We were talking about there's sometimes there's that desire to help. You just don't know how to use your
Mhm.
talents for good, where to
Yeah,
put yourself in, how to really feel like you're making a difference.
right.
Because some people may feel like, oh, I want to help, but then does it really count? And
Hmm.
so, in your experience and through the years since Hands On was founded, how has volunteerism really shaped all of these advocacies,
Hmm.
in the Bay Area and beyond?
I have, in my 20 plus years in doing this work, I've never met a nonprofit that couldn't benefit from volunteer help.
Yeah,
It is a huge, huge help to everyone because, nonprofits budgets are often very stretched and
yeah.
thin, and there's essential work that needs to be done. Like, for example, food pantries,
Mm,
bagging groceries to hand them out, right? That can't happen
mhm.
without volunteers.
Yeah.
And so, and that you see that need repeated in every issue area. And so the ability to have volunteers come in and help is huge.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, and then through the years, I've only seen that need kind of increase
Mhm.
because, the way the world is working, budgets are getting tighter for
Yeah,
nonprofits
yeah,
and the
yeah,
needs are getting bigger.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why the
Yeah, the
need.
demand is higher, more people are needing services, and
Yes,
there's really not a lot of staff members to
right.
go around, and that's where you guys come in. So tell us how that works, Lou. If I'm, let's say, a nonprofit, or I'm a group that needs volunteers, how do they approach you guys, and how do you guys fulfill that need?
So there's a couple ways in which we find our nonprofit partners in schools and parks, and we work with hundreds every year. We have a portal on our website where
Mhm.
nonprofits can put in an application to say, hey, I need help with so and so and this. Is that something that you'll be able to do? And then we also have a team of people whose entire job it is to outreach to nonprofits and schools and parks
Mhm.
to bring them in and help them figure out how volunteers can help them do a better job meeting
Mhm.
their mission.
Mhm. But I understand that you guys also work with major companies, big
That's
companies,
correct.
such as, is it Google? Just to name one.
Google is a perfect example, but
Yeah.
we work with, many companies who call the Bay Area their home. So we work with the Levi's, we work with Kaiser Permanente, we work with Google, you know. Um, what's great about working with corporate partners is they bring a lot of energy, a lot of people, and also money to help us buy supplies
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
paint
Yeah.
and wood and things like that. And so channeling that energy into helping the community is beneficial to them, it's beneficial to the community. It's kind of a
Yeah,
win-win-win.
it's truly a win-win. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Now let's talk about the volunteers.
Yes.
How does that work? How do you guys encourage volunteerism in the community? Do they come to you guys? Do you come to them and
Mhm.
seek them out?
Yeah, so going back to the founders' desire to lower those barriers to making it very easy to volunteer, we have built several different programs to accomplish just that. The first and most accessible program is our what we call a community calendar program.
Hmm.
And it's over 150 projects every month that's open to anybody in the community to join
Wow.
in and do. They are in a huge variety of issue areas. They are short-term commitment. You volunteer for those 2 to 3 hours and then you're done, right? And so you can come back every week if you want to, so you can create a commitment level that's right for you.
Uh-huh.
Um, all of our projects are group-based. They have a project leader, all of those things to help address those barriers to keeping people from volunteering. We also have, and this was actually a cool idea that really developed during the pandemic, which was we created the ability to volunteer from home. It's our
Oh.
Project in the Box program. And what happens is everything needed to accomplish a task, whatever that may be, arrives in your home in a box. You open the box, you do the work, create the item, put it back in the box. We get it, and then deliver it out to the people in need. And
Mm.
very, very successful program for people who can't
Yeah.
necessarily get out there in the community and do
Yeah.
something, but still want to give back in some way, shape, or form.
Wow.
And then we have our corporate program, which we've touched on a little bit, but is really great in that we help companies put large numbers of people to work. Like we've
Mm-hmm.
had um, anywhere from 25 to 1,000 people at one project
Yeah.
doing good. And so
Yeah.
that's where we help them as
Yeah.
well.
That's great. That's great. Tell us about the different fields or the different causes that you guys have supported through the years.
Yeah.
Maybe name some of the most memorable projects that you guys have had.
Absolutely. There's so many. It's interesting, right? Until you dive into it, you don't realize how deep the needs are in the community, and we help in any issue area that's important. So we do work with animal care. We have a
Hmm.
great project with goats.
Oh,
That's
wow.
very fun. Yes, we've done projects helping animals that are able to sense illnesses in
Hmm.
humans. right? That's a very cool project too that we have done in the past. We help schools, and schools need a lot of help. Anything from we paint the gymnasium to we help with a read
Wow.
aloud
Yeah.
program, or help with career readiness. We help our people who are experiencing homelessness through our food security programs, our donation programs where we sort donations to help people get warm clothes or clean clothes and things like that.
Mhm.
We do a lot of work in the environment,
Mm.
helping to restore the wetlands, cleaning up parks,
Wow.
putting in trails. There's and green spaces throughout like urban areas too, right? These little spaces that help make the community a little nicer, a little greener, those kind of things. So
That's
pretty
great.
much you name it, we get involved.
In terms of making sure that the volunteers' skills are really maximized, does the group leader provide orientation or training before a session takes place?
Absolutely. Before every project, our project leaders will greet everyone, make sure that they are ready for what's going to be happening during the project, making sure that throughout the project they take care of themselves as well. It's it's not surprising, I think, but volunteers won't take breaks to drink water. I'm like, no, you got
Mm,
to take a break.
mm,
So that's what our project leaders are
yeah.
for, making
Yeah.
sure that they take care of themselves while they're taking care of others.
What do you think are the most valuable lessons that the volunteers get from this experience? Life lessons that they will, bring with them into day-to-day lives.
One of my favorite stories ever is so we work with corporate partners, and one of them is Charles Schwab. And they have an office downtown San Francisco. This is pre-pandemic, actually. And we set up a volunteer project helping people experiencing homelessness through doing a soup kitchen work. And the person who was working downtown I think, lived in the East Bay in the suburbs and everything, and actually was not really exposed to people in tough situations. And anyway, so she signed up for this project at one of our partners, Glide, um, which does a soup kitchen to help
Yeah.
people have food, and warm meals. And she thought, well, it's not that far. I'm going to walk. Well, anyone who knows San Francisco knows that that's in the Tenderloin, which is
Mm,
not a very nice part of town.
yeah.
And um, she starts walking, turns the block. I forget which block it was, but all of a sudden was like, terrified of the neighborhood because of all the what she was exposed to and all the people and all the problems that she could see right away, and was going to turn around and go back, but
Mm,
somehow had the fortitude to get to Glide, did the project, met people on a human level, right? One on
mm,
one. She was serving food to them and completely changed her mind about what it means to be
mhm,
involved in helping people, what it means
mm,
to overcome your fears so that you can make a difference. And then
mm.
she became a regular volunteer at Glide.
Wow.
It's a
Wow.
great story.
Wow. Yeah, we partnered with Glide in the past as well, and we've seen
Mhm.
how how they're so important in that
Yes.
community. And your volunteers having that opportunity to see for themselves the needs in the community
Mhm.
firsthand, first look, it's truly life-changing for some people, and that's great, Lou.
It
Tell us
is.
about the impact Hands-On has had through the years. Give us kind of the even if they're rough numbers, but just to give an idea in terms of the services rendered, the hours rendered, and the magnitude of the work that you guys
Absolutely.
have done.
Absolutely. So I'm actually very proud of these numbers. We have, of course, been rebuilding since the pandemic. They were bigger before, but in 2023, for example, we mobilized about 25,000 volunteers
Wow.
who gave approximately 64,000 hours of
Wow.
community service. So
64,000 hours. Wow.
1,000 hours of service. So
Wow.
huge numbers of time dedicated to helping the community improve.
Mhm. For you personally, Lou, being part of Hands On and being in the leadership of Hands On, how has this changed your life for the better?
I have to kind of pinch myself every day, even after 20 years of being here, pinch myself because I can't believe I get to do this kind of work. I
Mhm.
am so lucky that my job is around helping others and supporting the community that I love.
Yeah,
So, I am in- incredibly grateful and
yeah,
lucky to be where
yeah,
I am.
yeah. With community partners, and we want to be your partner as well, and with support from the community and with more and more volunteers, wanting to take on the causes that you guys have. What are your plans for Hands On?
So we have a lot of different plans. I'll just share a couple with you. One is our Hands On Tomorrow program, which is for young people, teenagers specifically. It is a summer program exposing them to the world of nonprofits, to the world of service. It's like a 2-week program, and every day they'll go to a nonprofit and experience the mission firsthand and experience what it means to be a leader in the
Mhm.
community. And we're very excited about that. It starts in June. We think that this program, we've had this program for a number of years. Of course, the pandemic interrupted everything, and we had to kind of restart. And but we're very excited about that. It's coming back and that it's growing, and the impact that it has on young people is pretty dramatic. As a matter of fact, one of our board members was a graduate of the first Hands On Tomorrow program in 2016. So it's we're so excited that he's an example of how the program works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's coming up. The other thing that's coming up for us is we need a new home. We're
Mm.
kind of being thrown out of where we are right now because not because of anything aside from the owner just wants the building sold so that he can retire. Don't blame him at all. Everyone can get to retire, but we need to find a new home, and so
Mm,
we're trying to actually purchase a new home.
mm.
And so fingers crossed that it can work for us.
Yeah, yeah. For us at Just Wish Foundation, we're just so honored to get to know you guys and to really feel the spirit of your organization. That's really the volunteers.
Mhm.
And how that translates to really building this movement of good, this community of good, of community of do-gooders.
Yes.
um, and it develops people from a young age to be in positions now where they can lead
Mhm.
and inspire and mentor young volunteers. And that's just such a wonderful thing that you guys have built, Lou, through the years. And for all the causes that you have taken on, they're so fortunate to have you guys. And we're just so fortunate that in our own way, we can help support whatever it is that you guys are working on. And we hope that it's just the start of a great partnership. And we wish Hands On well, and they're in good hands with you, Lou.
Oh, you're kind.
And yeah, we're just so grateful to get to know you guys, and hopefully more and more people hear about Hands On, and will take part, whether it is as volunteers, as partners in the community. But we need to keep that movement of good going. So
Thank you.
thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much,
for all you
Lou.
do. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, thank you. We'll stay in touch, Lou, and we'll talk
Okay.
soon. More power, and keep it going at Hands On. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks, Lou.
Bye bye.